One of the most dangerous scenarios for humans is being in the vicinity of brown bears with their cubs. So when an army training exercise ended up near a brown bear's den, it ended in disaster. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is the tragic story of Staff Sergeant Seth Michael Plant. You're watching Primal Instinct. This story takes us to Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is the largest city in Alaska. Unsurprisingly, Anchorage is the northernmost city in the U.S., with a population of over 100,000. Interestingly, Anchorage receives up to 22 hours of daylight during the summer months, and on a clear day, you can see 6 different mountain ranges from Anchorage: the Alaska, Aleutian, Chugach, Kenai, Talkeetna, and Tordrillo ranges. It is home to a diverse collection of wildlife. Overall, the Anchorage area supports 52 species of mammals and at least 230 bird species. Some of the mammals include moose, sheep, mountain goat, foxes, coyotes, wolves, and of course, bears, specifically brown and black bears. Generally, humans and wildlife are able to peacefully coexist in this landscape without any major issues, but sometimes that's not always the case. Staff Sergeant Seth Plant was a 30-year-old Floridian native, and he had been enlisted in the Army since 2015. He was an infantryman from the 3rd Battalion, 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment, and had been stationed at the Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska since July 2021. Plant had received numerous awards and decorations during his service, including the Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Army Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, and Afghanistan Campaign Medal. The Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson is a United States military facility in Anchorage. It is an amalgamation of the United States Air Force's Elmendorf Air Force Base and the United States Army's Fort Richardson, which were merged in 2010. The installation hosts the headquarters for the United States Alaskan Command, 11th Air Force, U.S. Army Alaska, and the Alaskan North American Aerospace Defense Command region. On May 10, 2022, 3 soldiers including Plant were tasked with the routine assignment of mapping out a training site for a land navigation course in a secluded section of the military base, known as Training Area 412. The soldiers were scouting west of the Anchorage Regional Landfill. This area is part of the boreal forest and is known for its dense bush and woody terrain. The events that follow still remain somewhat unclear at this point, but this is what we do know. Upon arrival of Training Area 412, the 3 U.S. soldiers began mapping the training site for a land navigation course. They were in good spirits and initially all was going to plan that day, but as it turns out, the soldiers had unknowingly made a grave mistake, which was that they had unintentionally stumbled upon a brown bear den and were invading the mother bear's territory with her cubs nearby. Once the soldiers reached a certain point into the secluded part of the military base, they were suddenly and unexpectedly rushed by what one described as, quote, a flash of brown mass approaching them. The mother bear determined they were a threat to her cubs and decided to attack the 3 soldiers. All of a sudden, the bear pounced on one of the unnamed soldiers, knocking him to the ground and injuring him. Eventually, the bear turned back and this time attacked Plant by again pouncing on him and knocking him to the floor with her immense weight and power, then began gruesomely mauling him with her claws and teeth, seriously injuring him in the process. At some point, the bear decided to run off, leaving Staff Sergeant Seth Michael Plant seriously injured and another wounded but stable in the attack. 2 of the 3 soldiers were rushed to the nearest hospital for medical treatment. Unfortunately, Staff Sergeant Seth Plant succumbed to his injuries, and he was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. The other soldier was treated for their injuries from the attack but was later released from the hospital the same day. An investigation soon began after the attack by the Army Criminal Investigation Division in conjunction with the 673rd Security Forces Squadron, 673rd Civil Engineering Squadron Conservation Law Enforcement Officers, Alaska Wildlife Troopers, and the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game said a den with 2 brown bear cubs was found nearby, confirming suspicions the brown bear was acting defensively. They said a brown bear later approached the area, and officials who responded to the attack used bear spray, an irritant that can deter bears. The bear left and hasn't been spotted since, the department said. It still remains unclear what sort of weapons the soldiers had with them at the time of the attack, or how exactly they got the bear to leave the scene, and what exactly happened once the bear attacked. But if that information becomes available to the public, I'll be sure to update you all in the comments section below. This attack was a grim and sobering reminder of the non-discriminatory dangers imposed by bears, especially those with cubs nearby who feel threatened by human presence. At the end of the day, it is their primal instinct to defend their family from what they perceive as a threat, and this horrifying story is yet another example of that.